Let's move on for the sake of everyone here to head on over to TL and Cloud9. That was another matchup that we got to see between two teams that we thought would tussle at the top. A lot of T's. TL able to pick up the win there. I would say this match and also the direction that these two teams are going, as we're starting to see Perks grow in power, but this was one of the few games where it felt like he got stunted there.
I don't know. I don't know where to come down on Perks in this game. I think he was probably their best performing member. So there's something that Crepo brought up in my co-stream that I thought was actually like a pretty valuable point. So if you can bring up like the park sec quickly, we can talk about the lane phase and like how Perks intentionally tries to like sacrifice HP to bounce the wave and like get it into like a good state for him after his TP. Now, like obviously this is saying that hey, he's going to be playing around the gank, but it's something that I hadn't considered. You know, like I was like, oh, I think Perks is kind of just like trading poorly here. With his CP, is he actually trying to set up like this type of gank? But I mean, it ended up working, and it's something that Crepo vouched for, like a legitimate discussion that they had in G2 about playing a lot of these lane matchups. So I thought that was really interesting. This is like a lane state that he's trying to bait Jensen into essentially. The thing is, Jensen can live here 100% if he just like stands in a better position, procs his phase rush, and walks out. But I mean. I think that this game was really hard for mid Lucian to play throughout most of it. It's like the bot lane thing that ruined the entire game, in my opinion.
No, yeah, I think I actually had this exact conversation on stream that I think it's ridiculous to intentionally trade that poorly. Like he's making so many gambles, right? Intentionally trading super poorly, committing his teleport to something that in theory Jensen and another pro player can just play correctly and not die to, right? And Perks, if anyone asked him, would you ever die to such Lucian play, he would say no himself, right? This is like accounting for mistakes before they happen. And while you should acknowledge that mistakes are likely to happen in the game, you can't know which ones and when, right? Like, it's just a given that mistakes will happen, but you can't account for which ones are going to happen. And you shouldn't pre-plan. That's just a horrible fucking way to go about playing the game. And people don't understand that when they try to like scream to the sky, human error, they're not robots. But yeah, Jensen could have lived there. Cloud9's draft was just fucking abysmal. I mean, Perks even flamed it on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean,
that was I went into it on my stream. I did a long like mini review on how the draft is just really, really bad and sabotaging it basically every fucking step. It's just,
I mean,
ridiculous.
Tom Kench is such a mega pick in this situation. Like, Tom Kench is a counter to Skarner, a counter to Thresh, can build a QSS, can bail out the rest of the team. Like, it's really, really crazy. But I think the point where C9 lost this game is this bot fight, right? Like, Vulcan and Sven just traded really, really poorly for no reason. Then Fudge TPs in on 5 when Alfari TPs in on 6. And they're down so much HP initially that they end up just losing this fight super hard. So
I mean, if the Thresh hook hits, they win this play. Wait,
sure, yeah. I mean, if the threshold hits, they win. But like the fact that they traded so much HP here, I think initially is like the biggest issue. Yeah. So I mean, if the threshold hits, like Santorin instantly dies, whatever. But I mean, I think that the problem is before this because Santorin doesn't have to go this deep. I think that this is like the issue here. I think that this is the biggest issue. Is this type of like for fun trade? Like trying to hook in here, like what, you got bored in lane or what? Like you're trading into this, like this is so much damage you're just taking for no reason. And this is why TL is able to set up this entire play.
Yes. Yep. I mean, another thing that's kind of weird about the hook, right, is this one. All right, here. So I'll show it. So basically, if Hecarim tries to juke right, or if he remains stationary, or he tries to go here, Gragas has him pinned. He can't get out of Gragas, right? So what Thresh should do is account for all of Hecarim's ranges. Range is like a term from poker, right? And then just only throw the hook in the one way that he could possibly ever reach Tom Kench.
Choices.
Regardless
choices, the possibility of choices is probably
right. So regardless of if Hecarim does this or not, you've accounted for all ranges of his options. And he's dead. Because Gragas just has him. So like I mean, this is the same thing. This is like when you take like a wide angle on a gank because it's the only way the person can get out because like your top laner has them dead to rights. You know what I mean? Or like something like that. It's the same thing. So I mean, I feel like Vulcan misplayed this. Now, the really weird thing, and it's amazing because Doublelift wasn't even streaming yesterday. Fudge got blamed for all of this on Reddit, but it's not even Fudge's fucking fault.
Yeah, I mean,
Literally
he
bot
TVs.
lane 30 seconds prior to this. And it doesn't matter that he TPs with no mana. All he needs is actually one body slam.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say he TPs early. He TPs early.
Yeah.
And Alfari TPs late, and they're in between turrets. So this is a normally like winning TP.
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, everyone's public analysis of this teleport and the whole situation was just so far fucking detached from reality. It's just amazing. You can just tell that people don't play the game.
Yeah, I mean, well, one thing is also like in this game state, bot lane should be playing safe and they should be letting their Skarner hit level 6, and the next available play should be the flashless Orianna mid. You have flash with Skarner up. Like that is the angle that you want to hit. You want to flash on this Orianna mid and kill her, and you want to let bot lane just like 2v2, and then maybe off the kill mid, then you transfer it into a dragon or something like that. But like the angle is not trying to fight a bot lane 4v4 here versus Renekton and Hecarim with Skarner at level 5. That's just never the angle here.
Yep.
How broken?
I mean,
how much did it break the game here?
They're gonna lose every mid game. So this is one of those drafts where you can get the first 2 dragons, you're gonna lose third. You're always gonna lose third. You're gonna lose third, and then as soon as you lose third, you're instantly behind. This is like the natural progression and tendency of the game. I mean, I could go into the draft like why this is so fucking now. I mean, the B1 Renekton is neutralized by Gragas, but I don't know why they pair Ashe. And then if you go through a lot of simulations, Ashe on R2 is just always losing. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. The other really fucking weird thing here is no one picked or banned Seraphine. I don't know what it is with NA teams, it seems, but Seraphine Pyro is just absent, and it's very, very, very strange.
Yeah, I mean, I think Seraphine could have been good for blue here. I feel like generally speaking, if you're going with like Gragas top to neutralize Renekton, and then you pair Seraphine as well, you end up like in kind of a weird state where you like have like no early game at all, and you're just like seeding complete prio. So I mean, that's like why I don't really like the Gragas that much here. Because it's just a lane where you're just gonna like end up not having prio and just being pushed in throughout most of the game. Like the way that Gragas essentially trades into Renekton is you take losing trades and then you have to sustain them with your passive. So
yeah,
I think I think it's kind of weird here. I mean, I think the worst pick here in this draft is the Skarner. Like you're picking Skarner into a situation where like what you want to pair with Skarner is you want to pair like strong lanes and things like that. So that you are able to like make plays on them and picks have value. But when you play it into things like Renekton, Hecarim, and a Tom Kent, you're playing into like all these frontliners and the frontliners that can save each other and stuff like that. You don't actually have enough damage to like kill these people, and they have no threat. Like Alfari going into this game knows he can never die. Like he's just chilling. Like up until mid game, he's never gonna fucking die. So it's hard. It's really hard.
Yeah.
I'm just still. I'm trying to understand why they. What was the thought about Seraphine on both sides here? You know, is that an NA thing, or was that just specifically in this match there was something that both teams didn't like about it?
I have no clue. I think Seraphine's the best champion in the game. So I don't understand how she's let through by everyone and then not picked. Because I mean, in theory she can go 4 lanes and like with what pro players are going to do, though, she's only ever going to go 3. She's going to go mid AD and
mid AD support. Yeah.
Yeah. But she can go top. Depends on the matchup.
Yeah. She could go top into maybe like a Gnar or something.
Yeah. She's a hyperscaler. She one-shots the wave like very early on, after recalls. She starts one-shotting the wave. She has permanent move. You can't interact with her because she has too much range. She scales so hard. She pairs so well with so many different champions. She has 2 different build paths that allow her to either be utility or an AP carry. And then because you can just pick her early on and then pivot her into 3 different lanes, it's just really hard to play against her. Because she interacts with both sides of the spectrum. She can beat poke and champions that are really prone to hard engage because she amplifies hard engage, and she can also reach poke champions. But then she also completely swallows hard engage. So she's an abomination. She's just an abomination that's literally Z tier, best champion in the game, and yet the bastion of knowledge, North America, apparently can't conclude that as a region. So it's really good.
Yeah, I mean,
Take it away,
there's ways you can set it up too in the draft where like you have like the option for it as well. Like if you really want to go Gragas as the neutralizing counter, what you could do is you could pick Jin here, and then you could pick Skarner first 3, and then you could potentially ban Tom Kench. Or if they do pick Tom Kench, then you could go Seraphine support into Tom Kench, and then you just have like a winning matchup bot lane. You don't have like an insane combo of Jin Seraphine, but Jin Seraphine will be able to lay into Tom Kench like with ease, and then you just get the Seraphine scaling. So there's ways you can like set it up in draft where if they do take Tom Kench as an answer to Skarner, then you can counter the Tom Kench. But then like I think the problem here is that they take Thresh, which doesn't have a good lane into Tom Kench, or like not like a super good lane into Tom Kench by any means. And now they just have turbo value, right? Like Tom Kench can build QSS, which is good against Arrow. It's good against Skarner. He can eat people that are Skarner ulted. So I mean, he just has so much insane value in this game. It's actually crazy.